This is Matt Hurt at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter with a bonus episode of ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast. Hello and welcome to The Obsessive Viewer. We're a weekly movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show each episode. You can find back episodes at ovpodcast.com, find the blog at obsessiveviewer.com, and you can also subscribe to the subreddit at r/obsessiveviewer that I have not checked in months. If you want to help support the podcast, you can now do that with a nice new donate button on obsessiveviewer.com, or you can go to patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. Or if you don't want to actually spend money, you can simply leave us a rating and review on iTunes. It helps us out a ton. And finally, tickets are now on sale for Shocktober in Irvington 3. Of course, Shocktober in Irvington is a one-night event screening of short horror films from local filmmakers here in Indianapolis. We screen each short film, interview the filmmakers after each screening, and give away prizes and raffle off like DVDs, Blu-rays, gift cards to Irvington businesses. It's a lot of fun. All the proceeds go to the Irvington Historical Society. More information on that, as well as a link to buy tickets, is at shocktoberinirvington.com. And as a special bonus for listeners of the podcast, you can get $1 off the price of admission when you use the promo code podcast1 at checkout. That's podcast and the number 1. Okay, and joining me today for a bonus episode is Robert Fekkes.
Hello.
Hi. You're here to talk about the Comic-Con trailers and announcements and things.
And such.
Right. So I guess the first thing I want to ask you, Fekkes, is we've had the donate button up on the site for a few weeks now, and we haven't really gotten anything from you. That was kind of...
It's not anonymous?
No.
Oh. Well, with... I just got back from Vegas. I just booked London. I don't have a lot of spare cash.
Understandable. Well, the good thing about the donut.
The donut?
Damn it!
Is that a cop joke? Is that a cop joke?
No. Well, the good thing about the donate button is that you can donate any amount. But anyway,
I'm gonna donate a penny just to spite you.
Oh, I wonder how that would work. I encourage everyone to donate 1 penny, and have all of your family do the same. Anyway, so how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing well. I just told you off air that I just recorded a lengthy episode about Indie Film Fest all by my lonesome, and now I'm here talking to you about Comic-Con, and I'm missing Tiny a little bit. He's a jerk, and he's now on vacation in Florida.
Who wants to take trips?
Right?
With fiancés.
Right.
Jesus.
Ugh.
Get a life, Tiny.
Right? God. Ugh. Why don't you just stay home and play with a cat like I do all the time?
Right? Priorities.
Yeah. Right? Anyway, I'm not bitter at all. No, I sent him a picture or he sent a picture to one of our group chats. That was just a picture of a beach, and he's saying like, "Yeah, I haven't had time to watch anything because this has been my view." And then I was like, "Okay, you know what?"
Did you then say, "Life's a beach"?
Oh, I should have. Damn it! I should have. Oh, well, I was so blinded by anger that I just sent a picture of my computer at work and said, "F you, Tiny. This is what I'm staring at." But anyway, I say that all in jest. I hope Tiny is having a good time, and I'm looking forward to having him back to talk about movies and TV on the podcast.
I hope he does not get attacked by a shark.
Me too. Okay. Anyway, so Comic-Con happened. So yeah, what were your thoughts on Comic-Con in general? Neither one of us went to it. We're both in Indianapolis.
God, I wish I could though.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? With Comic-Con, it's kind of like E3 for me, where I just kind of pay attention to the news blurbs as they come out. Like, I rarely watch any of the panels or anything like that, but once the panels happen and some big piece of news comes out, I'm like, oh, cool, okay, I'll click on this.
Right. I do the same thing. I kind of just look up and see what announcements are made and whatnot. And, I mean, I would love to go to Comic-Con. I really would, especially because it is more movie and TV focused than anything.
Right.
these days, and I would love to go to it, but I feel like I would kind of hate every minute of it because
I'm sure it's packed.
Yeah, it's packed, and like to get into Hall H, apparently you have to wait. Like you have to wait in line an obscene amount of time.
Oh, really?
Just to get in. There are people lining up like hours and hours before it. Like I think maybe even like the night before.
Oh yeah, that's.
Yeah. And I'm just like, no, that sounds absolutely miserable.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Walking into a hall where you've been sitting outside for hours and then not showered with a bunch of other people that probably haven't showered.
Yep.
Not that I'm taking any shots at nerds. Trust me, I'm a nerd. That's just, standing outside waiting to get into places rarely affords the opportunity to shower.
You guys can't see it, but he has covered up all of his nerd tattoos with footballs and
footballs and basketballs. Manly things. There's a big can of beer on his bicep. I don't know. Anyway. That's weird.
That is very weird.
You knocking beer?
No, that's not. That's more... I'm in a corner here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Somewhat, I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this, and I don't know if I'll leave this in the episode or not, but I actually made some purchases today.
At the adult bookstore downtown?
Yeah, no, not the adult bookstore downtown, but I purchased actual comics.
Oh, oh, you're getting into the Rebirth, huh?
A little bit, at least the Flash. I enjoy the Flash, and we'll get into that when we talk about Justice League. But basically, I just bought the first 3 issues of the Flash because friend of the show, Pat, over at The Nerd You're Looking For, he has been talking a lot about the Rebirth of the Flash issues that he's been reading, and I'm like, okay, well, he hates time travel, and he mentions that he really likes the Flash Rebirth or whatever you want to call it.
Well, DC calls it Rebirth, so
Rebirth,
you probably want to call it Rebirth.
Right. Rebirth, but when I Google like the Flash Rebirth, I think he had like a comic or something that was called the Flash Rebirth or something. I don't know. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I got those, and yeah, so that's somewhat related to Comic-Con. And before we're gonna basically just go through a bunch of trailers and talk about the trailers and some of the announcements. But the one thing worth noting, like this podcast, we talk a lot about the Dark Tower adaptation that's coming February 17th. It's really happening, and I'm so happy and excited about it. Fekkes, you still haven't read any of them, have you?
No, I've read The Gunslinger.
Yeah, have you? Okay.
Yeah. I want to read more of them because I did enjoy The Gunslinger a lot. So
nice.
The only problem now is because it's probably been 6 months since I've read The Gunslinger. It's like, do I need to go back and reread it before I move on?
I would say no, you don't.
Maybe go on, Wikipedia and just get the cliff notes of what I read.
Sure. It's pretty. Oh God, the second book is so good. It's one of my favorite Stephen King books, just across the board.
The movie is going to incorporate the first 2 books.
The movie is going to incorporate things from all 8 books.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Okay. I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent. We're going to have episodes about this. Like, as soon as the first trailer drops, me and Tiny are going to sit down and we're going to have a lengthy conversation about this adaptation and everything. But, okay, from the outset, I've been very outspoken about the backlash to Idris Elba being casted, so I'm not going to talk about that. I love his casting.
He's a white man in that book. He's ruining this.
And that is so, okay. I'm going to go off on just a tiny bit of a tangent. This is all reiterating stuff, but I still see comments saying like, well, he needs to be white because that's a big part of his relationship with another character in the series. And I'm like, no, it's really not. The character that you're referring to is a black woman, and 15%, I think I actually calculated, 15% of one of the books has something to do with the racial divide between them.
They've ruined it all.
Exactly.
Ruined it all.
And I'm like, come on,
because they
guys.
never change story arcs in adaptations. Never happen.
Exactly.
Never.
So, but anyway, what's kind of what I'm excited about it, but Sony didn't have. I don't think Sony had a presence at Comic-Con or anything. However, they did. Did we talk about this on the podcast? Me and Tiny. Yeah, we did. It was on the cover of EW.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah. It was the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Episode.
and I bought it. Did you see it? Or Fekkes? I almost called you Tiny. Did you see Fekkes?
I see it. I see it now.
Yeah.
I see it.
And what's really cool about this, and this will be really brief, is that there is an app that is called Somber Group.
You know what? I'm actually shocked that they haven't at least released a teaser yet.
Me too, actually. I'm thinking it'll be really soon. But anyway, so the viral marketing for this is really, really pretty impressive. I can actually, okay, cool. I can actually do this on the Chromecast. So, Fekkes, if you would please set it down here. And then look at the screen because, there is an app called, here it is here. There's an app called Somber Group that you download and you basically scan the cover of the Entertainment Weekly issue and something happens on it and it just looks so cool and it has it's a very overt reference to a very important part of the book series.
Are we playing Pokemon Go right now? Is that what we're doing?
No. But it's so cool. So I'm really loving the marketing that they're doing, and they did have not necessarily a presence at E3, but they did have.
You mean Comic-Con?
I said E3, didn't I?
You did.
At Comic-Con, but they did have a booth that was a woman was there who was autographing quote unquote copies of a book that she wrote called Charlie the Choo Choo, which is a very big part of book 3, The Wastelands. It's basically this was an actress. It was part of a viral marketing campaign where she is at the booth. She was like the quote unquote author of the book, and she was signing copies of the book. And this is a book that's within the book of The Wastelands, and it's so cool that they actually went through. I hate that. I wish I could have gone to E3 so I could have gone.
Comic-Con.
God, I keep saying E3, don't I? Damn. I really wish I could have gone to Comic-Con because I would love to have a copy of this book. I
bet you can find one on eBay for a small upcharge.
Yep. I think it was $1,000. I think, yeah. And if I had it, I mean, I wouldn't spend that much on it, but I mean, it just this movie, even if it's not good, any type of marketing or anything that I can purchase that's related to it, any licensed material, I'm going to buy.
You're going to have to purchase the first poster. Speaking of which, where'd you hang your poster?
Oh yeah, I haven't hung it. I haven't framed it.
You've had that poster since Comic-Con.
I have. It's
Jesus Christ.
I need to get on the ball with that.
You probably haven't even taken your pops out of the package.
I have my pops at
work
at my desk.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple of them in my bedroom, but yeah. Anyway, we're getting so off base with all of this.
Back on target.
Back on target. But yeah, so anyway, the point of all that was I'm so excited for the Dark Tower movie. I don't care how they're adapting it. I don't care what changes they're making because I know that the director is a huge fan of the series and everything that I'm reading is very exciting to me.
Except for a black man playing a white man.
And that's my thing. I am so ready to just I'm at a point in my life where, when we reviewed Civil War, Mike mentioned that he had students come up to him saying, well, aren't you annoyed that
the Baron
Civil
Zemo
War
thing?
Yeah. Or are you annoyed that they changed things? And he was like, okay, well, I've kind of reached a point where I'm okay with them making changes because it's a different thing.
Right. It's its own universe.
Yeah. And my whole thing is, okay, with the Dark Tower, with any adaptation, they don't owe the audience of the books anything. Really. They can make whatever they want. The books are still going to be there. So, I don't know. Anyway,
does not ruin the books for you?
It does not.
Well, just like with Ghostbusters.
Right.
It didn't ruin my childhood.
Right.
Then again, I didn't hate it as much as I didn't hate it.
Right.
So, which surprised me in and of itself, but that's last episode. Whatever.
Right. But anyway, now we're talking about, and this is kind of a bonus episode, so that makes it kind of okay to get so sidetracked and everything. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about the trailers that were released at Comic-Con. We have a whole list here. Some of them, a couple of them at least, I haven't seen, but we can still comment on them because it's my show and we can do whatever we want.
Do whatever the hell I want.
Right. So these are all pretty much alphabetical, so that may not be the best way to go about it. But let's just start with the first one. Bad Santa 2. You watched the teaser for it?
I did. It's very short, and it has like one scene with a child on his lap, but so it doesn't show a lot. But the mere fact that they've made it makes me so happy because I love the first Bad Santa. It's hilarious. You feel horrible laughing at the child in it, but it's painfully awkward and hilarious at the same time.
Jeez.
Have you seen it? You've seen Bad Santa, right?
I still have not.
Oh man,
yeah.
It's like. Do you know the premise? Do you know the premise? Okay, well, the kid, the main child in it is, he's an overweight, curly-haired looking, really odd-looking child.
Okay.
And so Billy Bob Thornton just harasses this kid throughout the entire movie, and it's so painfully hilarious. So I don't know if they're going to bring the kid back, but the mere fact
that was my next question. Yeah.
I'm sure IMDb could answer that, but
right.
But the mere fact that they're making Bad Santa 2 just has me so happy. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, that's pretty old. That's over 10 years old.
I want to say it is.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Interesting. That'll be interesting. I'll have to go back and watch the first one.
You should. It's hilarious.
Nice. So I don't really have much to say about this one, so why don't we just go ahead and move on to the next one?
Moving on.
So this was a big surprise, and basically it's Blair Witch, and it is
You're
a
right.
sequel.
It is basically Blair Witch.
Right. We'll get into that. Yeah. It's called Blair Witch, and it's directed by Adam Wingard. Wingard? Oh my God! Did I just space his name? It's Adam Wingard, right?
I didn't see the director.
Yeah, he did The Guest and You're Next. But anyway, Adam Wingard. I'm positive that's his name. Anyway, so there was a teaser that was released back in, I want to say April or May. That was for this movie called The Woods. Didn't show anything, just showed some people in the woods with a cover of a song playing. I can't even remember the name of the song. But anyway, it was a very cool trailer and very interesting and very exciting teaser. So what they did you hear about what they did when they unveiled it as Blair Witch? This is so freaking cool. The
director standing in the corner.
Nice. I see what you did there. No, but it's they basically had a screening for The Woods, and so as people are going into the screening, all the posters, all the signage said The Woods. Get into the theater, and then while they're in the theater, they change it all to Blair Witch, and then they screen the movie.
Oh, so they actually screen the entire movie?
They screen the movie.
That is neat. That is neat.
Yeah. And all I'm thinking is, how amazing would it have been to be in that audience and be in that, because you're going in thinking oh, this cool Adam Wingard movie. Wingard.
Yeah, it is. I just looked it up.
Why am I doubting that? Anyway, it's this really cool horror movie, and just going in and just being blindsided by that. I don't know. Between that and
that is a neat little concept. I'll give them that.
Yeah, and between that and 10 Cloverfield Lane, this year is a really kind of good year for surprise horror or genre announcements.
It's really you don't see that sort of thing ever.
You really don't.
And the fact that they've done 2 of those in the span of a year is amazing. I love this kind of new concept, I guess. But
it's kind of
I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. But.
Yeah, it's kind of an anti. I don't know. It's kind of a reaction to the culture we're in now with social media and everything. It's they're purposely,
right,
taking measures.
Nothing spoiled.
Right.
And...
It's kind of beautiful. So, having said all of that, what are your thoughts on the Blair Witch Project and this trailer?
The Blair Witch Project, I never was impressed with.
Okay.
It was, I get it. It kicked off the whole shaky cam, found footage genre, which I can give it credit for that. It's very unique concepts. But as a movie itself, I was just kind of meh.
Okay.
And so when I saw the trailer for Blair Witch, it looked like a remake of the Blair Witch Project. It almost looked like a shot-for-shot remake with a couple extra surprises.
Right.
And so I was like, well, nope, not interested.
I'll meet you halfway there. Yeah, it does look like it is recounting a lot of the original Blair Witch Project, But just seeing some of the shots in the trailer where, I mean, you see the stick figures, and you're seeing these, knowing that it has a bigger budget and it's, backed
Blair
a
Witch
lot
Project
more.
2 had a bigger budget.
Okay, that's not technically fair because that movie had hardly anything to do with the first one. But I like that they can do more with that setting and that atmosphere and that technique in this movie, and that has me hopeful for it. However, yes, first of all, I hate how much they gave away in the trailer because I would have loved if they didn't show. Like, I would have loved if the trailer cut off about a minute into it, and then that would have been fine.
Yeah, they went to the house.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And it's just, like, I was like, you don't need to show that. And I like how they're tying it to the original. I do like that. But, I don't know. At this point, it's interesting because I went from being really excited for The Woods. Well, I went from being aware of The Woods and then forgetting about it entirely until it was announced that it was Blair Witch. But I was excited for it when I first saw the teaser months ago. To being excited for Blair Witch and kind of nervous for Adam Wingard because he is a very talented filmmaker, and I'm kind of, I kind of wish that he was making an original movie, yeah. Knowing that it's connected to Blair Witch, I mean, it could be amazing, and I hope that it's amazing, and I think it looks like it could be amazing, but I don't know. He's such a unique, filmmaker that I kind of wish that it was a unique original property.
You know what? I'm almost, and I've said this before, I'm pretty much done with found footage.
Really?
It's been so played out.
Yeah.
And, there's been a couple of fantastic ones, most notably Cloverfield for me. But at this point, it's been so overdone. And, M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit was that was another. You just keep asking yourself with these movies, like, why do they keep filming? Okay,
right. Well, okay.
Like sometimes it makes sense, but other times you're like, come on, just put the shit down and run.
Devil's Advocate, The Visit had a good setup for that, and that the daughter was an amateur filmmaker. Yeah. But that's the only thing I will give The Visit for. I thought that movie was just absolutely terrible.
Except for the poop scene. Hilarious.
Oh, God. Oh, he just released a trailer for Split, I think.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet either.
Yeah, it's got James McAvoy, I think.
It does.
And, I mean, some of the buzz is like, oh, it looks like it could be pretty cool, but I'm just like,
I've lost a lot of faith in M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen After Earth. It looked awful. So
I watched about 10 minutes of it, and then I was like, I can't do it. I'm good.
I saw Airbender.
Really?
Well, the wife is a huge fan of the cartoon, so we had to go see it, and it was bad.
Okay,
it's a bad movie.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I never saw it. I probably never will.
No, there's no reason to.
Right.
No.
So okay. Anyway, so Blair Witch looks like it could go either way. I'm pretty excited for it, regardless, because and that's the thing. I didn't actually go into my thoughts on the Blair Witch Project, but I was kind of all about that movie when it first came out.
Everyone was.
Oh yeah, I was really wrapped up in the lore of it and the mythology and the marketing of it.
Did you think it was real? Did you think it was true?
Well, I was. I mean, okay, I was like 13, 14 years old, I think. Right. But so yeah, I did for a second, and then obviously it was pretty obvious it wasn't. But I liked it. I really liked the theater experience. I really liked seeing it. And then it seems like every time I've seen it since then, or at least when I've, in the past, probably since the found footage craze started this time around, every time I've watched it, it's had diminishing returns because the characters are really obnoxious and
they are.
It's
man,
really
they are awful.
Oh yeah, and the budget really doesn't allow much. It's more.
Well, you got to give it props with the budget though.
Yeah,
they did what they could, and it went crazy.
They did, yeah. But I mean, just seeing better made found footage movies.
Well, now though, I mean, that's it kicked off an entire genre on a crap budget, so you got to give it credit.
True, and I do like the way that it was made and everything. It's just I don't know. I think my my enjoyment of it when it first came out was that it was such a novel thing, that seeing that concept done so much better has made it harder to connect with that original viewing of Blair Witch Project.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense.
But so that's Blair Witch, and we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Doctor Strange. Fekkes, thoughts?
Loved this trailer. The original trailer, it reminds me of Django Unchained, where the original trailer comes out and then the second one comes out. So I'm like, what's the lines like? You had my attention. Oh man, I'm gonna screw this up.
I can't remember.
But do you know what I'm talking about though? When Leonardo, where he walks in and Leonardo DiCaprio comes, they're watching the guys fight, and he's like, you had my interest, now you have my attention.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
sure.
that's kind of it. So the first trailer had my interest, and now this trailer, you got my attention.
Right.
It looks spectacular.
Oh yeah.
Like the way it's shot just seems so unique, especially for a Marvel film. And I'm very excited to see where they go with this character.
I am exactly the same, and I'm it's so amazing to me because we were talking before we recorded, but this could not be a Marvel movie, and I would be so on board with it. I would be just as excited about it.
It looks like a unique movie experience.
Exactly.
Like there's some couple takeaways you could say. It's like, well, it's kind of a little bit like Inception.
Yeah.
But it like the style, the look of it, it just looks amazing.
Right.
I can't wait to see where they go with this character because he's not like any other regular superhero in the Marvel universe. So I'm happy that I'm so happy that they are able to take these chances with these obscure characters in the Marvel universe. So
I agree, and I mean my only nervous thing about it. That's a weird phrasing. The only thing I'm nervous about with it is I really hope that they do justice to Mads Mikkelsen, his talent as a villain in the movie.
The whole forgettable villain syndrome.
Yeah, that's my one thing that I'm kind of like.
He's got an awesome look.
Yeah, he does, and I mean he is such a great actor. You never saw Hannibal, did you?
I did not.
I've only seen the first 2 seasons, but
really the only thing I have seen with him is probably Casino Royale.
Okay, yeah.
I want to say, but yeah, I loved him in Casino Royale.
Oh yeah, and he's fantastic. And
I've heard he's really good.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm really really excited for Doctor Strange. Yeah. Next up, we have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Fekkes, you are an unabashed Harry Potter fan.
Such a fan.
Are you going to get the Cursed Child?
Not only am I going to get the Cursed Child, but me and the wife are going to London in 2 months.
That's right.
And it looks like we're probably going to shell out $1,000 to go see the play.
Okay, I don't blame you, honestly.
So expensive though.
That's ridiculous.
My wife sent me a text. She's like, I don't care how much we're going to do this. I'm like, yeah, I guess we're going to have to. But I just can't believe they have a black Hermione. Humbug.
Is she really upset about that?
Who?
Your wife?
Oh, no, not at all. But, internet idiots.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Oh, hums. But, yeah, huge Harry Potter fan. But when they announced this movie, I was not impressed. To me, it just seemed like a cash grab.
Yeah.
And the first trailer did nothing to quell my initial feelings about it. It just... First of all, it was called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and they didn't show any Fantastic Beasts in the first trailer. So I was like, well, this is stupid.
Right. Nor Where to Find Them.
Right. Nor Where to Find Them. Apparently not in that movie.
Right.
So the Comic-Con trailer, though, has me a lot more excited for it. They actually showed Fantastic Beasts. I kind of like that they're going to show the wizarding world in the United States.
Yeah.
I like that concept. And I like a lot of the actors in it. So Eddie Redmayne's cool. He looks like he's going to do a good job, and I love Colin Farrell. So.
Right. Yeah, I agree. This trailer really, really made me a lot more excited for it than I was before. I I agree with everything you said.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, we have Justice League coming up here. Anyway, this trailer looks really good. I think it's planned out as a trilogy. Is that the case? I think.
You know what? Everything is. I'm sure they'll split the last one up into 2 movies.
Right. And that was a brief tangent here. I saw Star Trek Beyond, and today I was listening to a podcast reviewing it, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, it's so weird because there used to be a time where Scream was a huge franchise for me, just personally in my movie going. And when Scream 3 came out, I was like, oh, they're ending the trilogy. This is so awesome. And the idea of a trilogy was like I was so excited about it, and it was always a thing whenever there was like a third movie coming out, like, oh, this is the end of a trilogy. And it's like, never even crossed my mind with Star Trek. We're in an age where they're going to have multiple sequels for multiple things.
Well, they've already announced plans for the next Star Trek movie. Anyway,
that's true.
They're bringing back
Chris Hemsworth,
yeah, so
which I'm really excited for.
I'm curious what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. But like even going into it, I didn't even think like, oh, this is this is the trilogy. Yeah. And that kind of. I guess bothered might be a little bit of a severe word for it, but I kind of wish that there were more, 3 set out, 3 movies to tell a story, done, not milk it for everything, for multiple movies. I don't know. That's just me.
You want to see things go off on a high note.
Yeah. So. Yep. And I say that after referencing Scream, which first of all didn't end up being a trilogy itself, but
that's right, they made Scream 4.
And the TV show.
Yeah, I don't really count that.
Yeah, oh god, that was such a disaster. It's funny because I actually planned on writing reviews for each episode.
I remember when you started that, yeah.
If you go to obsessiveviewer.com and click the Scream tab, I think I have two links on that, and then I have a list of all the rest of the episodes as if I was actually going to post them. And I need to go back and edit that and change it or something. But.
Someone's out there going, when is the 3rd episode going to be reviewed, Matt? I need to know.
Oh, yeah. I hope that someone's out there that actually pays attention to the things I say and write. But anyway, Fantastic Beasts looks fantastic. And it looks beasts, and it
looks where to find them.
It does. Oh, that was dumb. But yeah, it looks really good. I'm really excited for it now, and I can't wait. Also, I'm curious how J.K. Rowling is going to do as screenwriter, because it's a script that she's writing.
I'm sure she'll do. I think she's got this writing thing down pretty good.
She does. She does it pretty well.
She worked on 8 films with the Harry Potter series. So
that's true.
I feel like she probably has a grasp on it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just different writing a novel versus
probably. Not that I would have experience. I haven't written anything ever.
Right. Did she write The Cursed Child, or was that someone else?
Yeah,
did she?
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Anyway, next up is Just Ice Liaiju.
God damn it.
No, it's Justice League. They had some stuff and some things at Comic-Con. Fekkes, what'd you think?
Well, I loved it. First of all, I was shocked that they had this much footage already.
Mm-hmm.
That looked done, like
right.
Finished. But the trailer, man, and if you've listened, you know I defended Batman v Superman, still do. I enjoy it, and I really think that this looks really good. And I hate to come out this early and say it looks fantastic, but I'm really hopeful with this trailer. It looks like they're kind of putting some lighthearted things into it this time. I love the back and forth between Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen. Ben Affleck can be Batman forever and Bruce Wayne forever. I think he is fantastic, and I think he showcases that again in this trailer. There was not a whole lot in this trailer that I disliked. In fact, I don't even think there was anything in this trailer I disliked. I can't wait to see Khal Drogo as Aquaman. Or Jason Momoa.
Cool. So King Arthur. No. So this is where I'm at with Justice League. When I saw Batman v Superman, I obviously on record not liking the movie, or I think I was more positive on the movie, but in the discussion I was focusing on the negatives. I had fun with Batman v Superman. I had a pleasant enough experience, just laughed out loud at stuff, and the more I thought about it, the more I just grew to dislike the movie as a whole.
It's not a perfect... I will never come out and say it's a perfect movie.
So one thing that I liked about it was and I'm kind of in the minority here, one of the things I liked about it was the little pieces of, like the little Easter eggs for the other movies in the Justice League oeuvre.
Right, yeah.
I liked that. How it was incorporated was a little clunky and everything.
I think it's weird that Lex Luthor created icons for
exactly.
I thought that was
exactly.
I'm going to design everybody's symbol.
Right. So I liked that aspect of it. The execution was a little weird, or the setup for it, but I like it just because I've been conditioned by Marvel Studios to be super in love with the cinematic universe style. So when I saw Batman v Superman, like, not liking the movie as a whole, I thought, you know what? Maybe I should check out Arrow and The Flash and, what is it? The
Defenders? Heroes of Tomorrow or Legends of Tomorrow. Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah. Maybe I should do that.
To watch.
It is, and that's the thing. It is, and that is true. I really should have saved the announcement about the comics when we were talking about this. But anyway, so I came out of Batman v Superman thinking like, okay, yeah, I should definitely check out Arrow since maybe DC might be screwing up the movies, but they at least have a bunch of stuff in it that could maybe satisfy my urge for this type of thing. Then I saw the Justice League trailer and or teaser, or whatever you want to call it, and two things came to mind. One was that seeing Ezra Miller as Barry Allen made me think like, I need to go and read some Flash comics. I want to get into the Flash because a couple years ago I started reading the New 52 Flash comics.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then I kind of dropped off of that, and I really enjoyed it. And then now I see that, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to actually just screw Arrow and everything else. I'm just going to watch the Flash. So I plan on starting the Flash TV
I hear
show.
a lot of good things.
Me too, and I'm excited for it. But that's kind of where I'm at with Justice League, Zack Snyder, and with the DC Extended Universe is everything I saw in this trailer. I mean, I liked a good portion of it. I like that it's lighthearted. I liked that there's levity to it. I like the interactions. I like the idea of Bruce recruiting members of the Justice League and all that. I like that. I like all those pieces. Think it looked cool, but I'm at the point where Zack Snyder, I don't see any reason to be excited for anything he does at this point until he
I just feel like you guys just forget that he ever made Watchmen or 300 and Dawn of the Dead.
Sure, okay, I did forget about Dawn of the Dead when thinking about that, but all I was thinking was Legends of the Guardians, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman.
I mean,
Sucker Punch.
I defend Man of Steel. I enjoy it. So
I still didn't.
Yeah, I know.
I can't. Yeah,
it's pointless having this conversation.
It is. Yeah, and my kind of point is that it could be amazing. This could be the greatest superhero movie I've ever seen, and if it is, I will totally accept that. I will admit it. I'm not going to
tweet an apology to Zack Snyder.
No, Zack Snyder. No,
bit harsh.
It is a bit harsh, but anyway, I'm just at the point where I've seen enough of his work to know that his style, what he does not work with me that well.
And that's fair. I get that.
Yeah. So for me to get excited over a clip or a bunch of scenes from Justice League would be setting myself up for just being let down for it. So I'm just at the point where I'm like, okay, don't care for Zack Snyder, so I'm going to just any marketing, I'm not going to become excited for it. I'm not going to think like, oh, this could actually be amazing. I'm just going to be like, okay, I know Zack Snyder's deal, and maybe they will keep him reined in so that they can make a competent movie.
Well, they already have, really, by taking away part 2 by saying you're doing.
Oh, that's true.
So
That's true.
We'll see how that works. But come on, you have to at least like the scene where Barry Allen sees the Batarang.
Everything with Barry Allen, I freaking loved. I really did.
I love the connection he makes, looking at the Batarang, looking at Bruce Wayne. It's kind of like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think I just like the Flash as a character, because like I said, that's one of the only comics I've read at least a little bit of.
Yeah, see, I know almost nothing about Flash.
Yeah.
In fact, DC's my... I'm typically a Marvel guy. Like, I'll read anything Batman, but I don't know... I don't care for Superman as a character in the comic books as a whole. I don't know much about Flash, Cyborg, or Aquaman. So, but
yeah, I just know a little bit about the Flash, but I'm excited for it because I liked what I saw in the trailer. It made me excited to watch the show and to read the comics. Didn't necessarily make me excited for the actual movie. So
fair enough.
We'll see. Maybe it'll be amazing. Like I said when we reviewed Batman v Superman, I want nothing more than to have two huge cinematic universes of superhero IPs going at it in the box office concurrently, separate from each other but concurrently. I would love to see, like Marvel is doing their thing, I would love to see DC achieve what maybe Marvel has done, because
we got round 2 coming up next week. So
right.
Suicide Squad.
Is that next week?
Yeah, August 5th.
Really? Wow, that snuck up on me. Yeah, we'll see. So hopefully. So yeah, that's Justice League. That's Justice League. Next up is Guy Ritchie's King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. And this movie was supposed to come out last summer, I think.
Oh, was it?
Or this summer. I think it was this summer. It was this summer.
That's problematic.
Yep. We actually talked about it when we did our Starbase Indie panel.
Oh, okay.
Like Tiny brought it up, or we talked about it. Tiny talked about his excitement for it because he's a Guy Ritchie fan.
I'm with him. I like Guy Ritchie stuff.
I like what I've seen of his. Some of it's a little inaccessible.
I think his Man from U.N.C.L.E. Movie got really, really just glossed over. I thought that was a fun movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
I still never saw it, but I want to.
I feel like me and my brother are the only 2 people that saw it.
Really? Yeah. It kind of just came and went.
Yeah, it did. Really did.
Speaking of, no, I'm not going to make that joke. Anyway, so yeah, King Arthur it has Charlie Hunnam, who I loved him in Undeclared.
He was in Undeclared?
He was, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he was great in it. Didn't care for Sons of Anarchy.
I like Pacific Rim.
See, I didn't like it. I did.
Giant Japanese robots fighting each other, that's fine with me.
Sure.
You don't need a whole lot of story in it was fun. It was a fun movie. Whatever.
Yeah. Sure. It looked pretty.
It did. Sure.
But I still just didn't care for it. So
I get it.
King Arthur, I mean, it looks like it could be okay. I don't know.
It's a really odd looking take on the King Arthur story.
Right.
Which I don't have a problem with. It's just I'm not sold on it yet. We'll see. Mm-hmm. I love Guy Ritchie's style. I don't. He's never done anything this big before. Right.
And it seems kind of I don't know. I'm just judging it from the trailer, but it kind of looks a little more conventional. Like it doesn't look as Guy Ritchie as.
Well, it looks shot like Guy Ritchie. Okay. To me, more Guy Ritchie. Sherlock Holmes Guy Ritchie.
Sure.
So to me, it kind of looks like that, but I don't know. I'm very conflicted about this trailer right now.
Okay.
So, I'll go see it because I'm a Guy Ritchie fan, and I do like the Camelot lore.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I'll reserve judgment.
Nice. I'll check it out too, just because it's a movie, and I like watching those
movies.
Yeah.
Like those moving pictures.
Right. So the next picture we're going to talk about is Kong Skull Island, which so is this supposed to be in they're setting up
this is going to be in the Godzilla universe.
Gotcha. Godzilla, yeah. Anyway, Gareth Evans or Edwards is Godzilla universe?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to revisit that movie. Have you rewatched it recently?
Yeah, I still love it, and I know you guys did not care for it, but I thought it was great. I I still love it. Well, I think when I IMDb rated it originally, I gave it a 9.
Okay, wow.
Which is hot. Yeah, I know.
Holy crap.
Because I loved it coming out. Rewatching it, I'd probably give it an 8.
Okay.
Drop it a point. There's so many things about the Godzilla movie that I enjoyed.
See, I just remember just not being that interested or invested in Aaron Taylor Johnson in the movie.
I liked him.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Sure, I'll have to revisit it. But so that, pending a rewatch of Godzilla, that kind of has me give Kong Skull Island a little bit of pause, because I mean they're in the same universe and everything, but this trailer just looked it
looks great.
It looked like balls out crazy.
Yeah.
And just when I heard Skull Island was announced, I kind of was under the impression that it wasn't going to have much to do with King Kong. I thought it was just going to be...
Yeah, I agree. That was not my original interpretation from the announcement either.
Right. So I was kind of like, that kind of made me think like, okay, well, I'm not really going to have this on my radar that much, because it's not that... It wouldn't be really interesting to me.
I don't know. Skull Island is a fascinating area of dinosaurs and indigenous tribes. Come on.
Sure.
Fun.
Sure. Nah,
but I agree. King Kong does add a more to it. So.
Right. And the look of him in the trailer, just like that, I was like...
Well, I love the fact that
cool.
you don't get a great look at him.
Right. But you get a sense of the scale.
Yes, he is massive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm super excited. I must have forgot that Samuel L. Jackson was in it.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have. He's in everything.
Right.
John Goodman, God, he's come out and just done some great stuff lately.
And he's so good in everything I've seen him in. He is so good.
He's got a presence on screen that can be intimidating, but
absolutely,
yeah, he's great. And so I can't wait to see what they do with him. Mm-hmm. And Brie Larson's awesome. And
I agree.
So is Loki.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean that to be negative toward Tom Hiddleston, but I wasn't as crazy about Loki in the movies.
See, I love everyone else. Loki. But I also, Loki aside, I love Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah,
I think he does great. He did a good job in War Horse. I thought he did a good job in Crimson Peak, even though that was a mediocre movie for me. But I thought he did a really good job. Like, I don't think I've seen anything with him in it where I thought, well, that was a piece of crap.
See, I can't really think of anything outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that I've seen him in, honestly. I never saw War Horse. I never saw the other movie you just referenced, Crimson Peak. Yeah. I never saw, let's see, what was it called? He did a musical biopic. I'm speaking.
He was Johnny Cash.
Was it Johnny Cash?
Was it Johnny Cash? I thought it was Johnny Cash. No.
Or was it Hank Williams? No.
No, it was Hank Williams.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
Okay.
It was Hank Williams.
Yeah, that was a special presentation screening at Heartland, but I didn't.
I didn't see it. I'm kind of over music biopics.
Me too.
But
but
I hear he did a good job.
Good.
Good job, Tom.
Yeah, my brother liked it a lot. So anyway. But yeah, Kong Skull Island looks really good, and I'm excited for it. And at some point, I'm going to revisit Godzilla and see how I feel about it.
Yeah, your opinion probably won't change. It doesn't seem like something where you'd go back and be like, you know what, I realize,
right.
It's a monster movie, so to me, I grew up on that stuff. So nostalgia.
I like monster movies quite a bit, but it didn't do anything for me.
To each his own,
right. So next up is, this is
why is this a thing?
A big. This will give Civil War. This will give Justice League, Batman v Superman. It will be a cash cow. No, it's.
I can't believe they're making the mistake of making a TV movie.
Right.
Can't believe it.
Ugh. It's Legends of the Hidden Temple. So before we get into the talk of this trailer, Fekkes, do you have any attachments in your childhood to Legends of the Hidden Temple?
Like, I liked the show. Mm-hmm. Like, I was a Nickelodeon kid, so I grew up on all that stuff. I enjoyed Legends of the Hidden Temple. I always thought it'd be fun to go on there. I always thought the kids were a bunch of morons that couldn't put the three-piece statue together of the silver monkey.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It was a good show, but it's not a movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm at a weird place with this trailer because I liked the show a lot. Like, I liked the game show a lot. I watched it all the time. I liked the kind of weird or mythology around it or whatever. It kind of built up this little mythology in the thing. You obviously didn't expand on it because it wasn't a narrative or anything, but I liked how it was set up and everything. And with this, it's like, okay, did you see Goosebumps?
No, I probably will.
Okay.
I've heard enough good things about it that I'll probably give it a watch.
Okay, was on Netflix recently, but I think it still is. So with Goosebumps, like that did a pretty decent job of taking something that I loved and lived for as a child. Oh yeah.
God, I loved Goosebumps. I think I stopped reading them at like The Beast of the East. I think it was probably the last one that I read.
I can't remember where I stopped. I remember I went all the way up to Goosebumps Series 2000. Did you ever get to those?
I didn't know that was no.
Yeah, those were fun. There was a 2-part book story arc that was basically a knockoff of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It was called Invasion of the Body Squeezers. Yeah. So anyway,
like a gay porno name,
right? Wait for that podcast to come out. Actually, I'm sure I've mentioned this before on the podcast, like long ago, but they actually had a writing like contest where like you could write a Goosebumps style story using certain keywords that were in like each book, like at the back of each book, like for like 3 months or 3 or 4 months, they had different words that you had to use, and like it would be like, oh, write for this contest. This is your word for this month. So you'd write one story with all those words in it, and then you could either win a trip to New York, I think, to meet R.L. Stine, or you could win a signed copy of his autobiography, or blah, blah, blah. I ended up getting, I think, like 3rd place. I got a signed copy of his.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Yeah. And it was all downhill from there. No, no, but it was really cool. I read the story, and it was like, as an adult, and it's
like this piece of crap.
I remember so vividly putting in the phrasing, Billy or whoever took the steps 2 at a time, because that was how he described a kid excitingly running up the stairs in every book. So anyway, tangent aside, I liked the way that the Goosebumps movie took what was something that was so near and dear to me as a child and made it into a fun, nostalgia-driven kind of monster movie, and it had some interesting things going with it, but it didn't like ruin anything for me. It didn't like betray my whatever.
Betray the Goosebump narrative.
Exactly. Yeah. So then when I saw the Legends of the Hidden Temple trailer, I was kind of at a crossroads with it, because I thought like, okay, well, I wish that they would have made like something more for me, who I liked the show as a kid. Now I'm an adult. I kind of wish they would have done something that would be more for me as an audience member to kind of play on the nostalgia of it, but be a fun thing. You probably
could have done a decent narrative, not making it like, oh, kids snuck onto the set of the game show and
right. But then I thought like, okay, well maybe what if they're making this for current day kids? And because it kind of has that goofy like kid adventure thing.
It's a kid movie. It's very much a TV kid movie.
Right. And I'm like,
what's your audience though?
Because
these kids don't know Legends of the Hidden Temple.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't know who they're making this for.
Right.
I sit there and I was watching the trailer, and they brought back the original host.
That's right.
And I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, I can picture right now the phone call happening and this guy getting the job. He's sitting in his dingy apartment with a beard, wondering how his life went wrong, and the phone rings, and he's like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Like his life just jumped up back to awesome again.
He has a separate line that just goes directly to Nickelodeon, like a red phone that's just sitting on his desk, and he's like, as soon as he sees that beep,
it's like covered in dust.
Yes.
It's like, no. So, yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, well, if they're making it for kids, who am I? Like, I can't. Okay, if it's not for me, it's not for me. I'm not going to be disappointed in it. I'm never going to
watch it either. But
yeah.
But like I said, I'm just curious what their audience is. Because, 8, 10, 11-year-old kids have no idea what Legend of the Hidden Temple is.
Right. And it is also a TV movie. So,
yeah.
I mean, its audience is Nickelodeon viewers
Right.
too. So I
don't
mean,
know.
it's yeah.
Hell, I'm sure it'll be great.
Right. Better than Batman v Superman. So Snowden.
Savage.
Anyway, so next up is Snowden. I haven't seen. I completely until we got to this point. I completely forgot that I didn't see the trailer. But I've seen the first trailer, and it's funny because actually last night I thought to a part in the first trailer for Snowden where like it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt is with a woman in a bedroom at night doing amorous activities. And he sees like the webcam for the laptop, and he looks at it, and it kind of goes in and shows like his paranoia that they could be watching him, so he like closes it or something. So like last night I actually taped the webcam like thing on my MacBook Pro because I sleep with it playing The Simpsons.
I'm told that's you should.
Yeah. I've also been watching Mr. Robot too, so I'm like maybe so
good things. I need to watch that.
This is a bonus episode about Comic-Con, so I'll reserve my
fair enough
opinion here. But I would say walk, don't run.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so you saw this trailer for Snowden. What did you think of it? Are you excited for it?
Yeah. First of all, I like Oliver Stone. I think he's a great filmmaker. So, and I like him. This is one of those movies Oliver Stone does. He does a lot of historical stuff around the time that history is happening.
Right.
So I saw Oliver Stone films, growing up, but it didn't hit me the way it maybe would have had I lived through that era.
Right.
So now here we are. This is something that happened in my lifetime, and I can relate. To me, this is awesome. I have a narrative now from a major historical event, and so I can relate a lot to the film this time instead of Born on the 4th of July. I was like, well, I didn't live through the Vietnam era.
Right.
So, I am excited for it. I'm excited to see the nuances of the actual story, kind of the things that maybe aren't as public, and hopefully it's not exaggerated. Hopefully it's pretty
right.
And which I'm sure there are going to be things that are exaggerated, but no, I think it'll be a good movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt looks like he's going to do a good job as Edward Snowden.
I had some reservations about his voice work in it.
It takes some getting used to.
Yeah. But I think when I first saw the trailer, it was like the day after I just rewatched 500 Days of Summer. So I had his normal voice in my head. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. When they're getting an Oscar push, right?
Are they? I don't know.
I
failed to see the release date for it.
Okay, I'm gonna look real quick because I'm an idiot.
It seems like that would be something they would Oscar push.
Yeah, I want to say that they are because I want to say it's gonna be
probably November, December.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, you missed it. Down there. There.
Oh, there we go. September. Okay.
So, that's not really Oscar push.
Yeah. Well, if it gets re-released for Oscars at the end of the year and it's during a snowstorm, it would be kind of fun to go see it and be Snowden to it.
God damn it.
Okay. So since that joke didn't land that well, we can move on to the next one because I'm going to commit suicide. Suicide Squad. So it comes out next week, apparently.
Yes, it does.
What's your interest level at? Where are you at?
I'm peaked on this. I'm sold on this. I'm sold on every aspect of it. I think Will Smith is going to do a heck of a job. I love Margot Robbie. I think she's a great actress and she's fun to look at as well. Yeah, there's not a whole lot I'm not excited for. Like, the second trailer really sold me on this one, the one with the Bohemian Rhapsody song in the background. The Comic-Con trailer didn't show me a whole lot of new stuff, but I think it's going to be fun. I'm still a little worried about how Joker is going to be represented.
Oh, really?
But I'll give it its fair shake because I love Jared Leto.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the Joker in it. It's weird because it seems like it's part of the DC Extended Universe, but it doesn't feel connected to it in the way that, like, you can't as much as you might want to, you can't compare Marvel Cinematic Universe to what they're doing.
You can't.
You can't. But it doesn't feel as connected to Batman v Superman and Man of Steel as you would think another
I agree.
one of it is.
But then again, we haven't seen it, so we don't know how connected it's going to be.
Right. And in my opinion, I mean, that works in its favor, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know Batman's going to be in it.
Right.
So how much is it going to be in it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, I agree. It seems like kind of a disconnect from the universe as of right now, but
right.
It's just the tone is completely different from anything that they've put out so far.
Yeah, totally. So I don't know. I have high hopes. I think it looks like it'll at least be a lot of fun. And if it's as a standalone movie, if it's enjoyable and successful to me, then I mean that's a winner for me. If it's not bogged down by the DC extended universe, then I mean I'll enjoy it. So we'll see.
We shall see.
Yep, that was kind of a roundabout way for me to say all that. But anyway, the Lego Batman movie. I haven't seen the Comic-Con trailer. Are you?
Yeah,
okay.
It looks great. First of all, if you know me, I'm a huge Lego guy. Right. I have thousands of dollars worth of Legos in my house. Not an exaggeration. The Lego movie was a lot of fun, and Lego Batman looks fantastic. The voice work, I think, is going to be top notch. And you got Will Arnett coming back as Batman, who did a great job.
He was so good.
Yeah, and you got Ralph Fiennes coming in as Alfred, so that'll be great. And you got damn it, what's his name? Zach Galifianakis as Joker.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so
wow.
I really like the voice actors we got for this, and
nice.
the trailer for it just seems fun. Like it's so tongue in cheek. And it's going to be one of those kid movies that the adults are going to love too. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. I haven't revisited the Lego movie since I saw it in the theaters, and I was kind of not too hot on it. I mean, I liked it quite a bit, but I just kind of came away from it like kind of poking a little bit of holes in it here and there, and not really enjoying some things.
Poke holes in the Lego movie. You gotta poke holes in that plot there?
A little bit. Well, when the whole movie is about them not conforming and all that, and then the plot seems like a really cliched thing, it kind of wore a little thin on me. But I enjoyed it for the most part.
It's a movie about Legos.
Well,
you can let a couple plot holes go.
You know, but but anyway, I need to revisit it. I did love Lego Batman, and I loved Will Arnett in it, and I'm really excited to see what they do with a standalone movie.
Yeah, me too. Yep. A lot of fun.
Yep.
I'm president business, by the way. You do not mess with my Legos. I have that set up the way it needs to be. You don't play with that stuff. You do not touch it.
I'm going to go and just fuck up all your shit.
I would murder you so quickly.
Oh, wow. What's your next?
I just completed the Ghostbusters Firehouse.
Nice.
So they just released a Spider-Man bridge scene from the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Nice.
And I want that because it's good. I have an ocean portion of my Lego village, for those of you who don't know. And so I'm going to incorporate the broken bridge into the ocean portion of it. So
Nice.
I got plans. I'm an adult.
That, whatever you want, man.
Do what I want.
Cool. Anyway, no, it is really impressive.
I'm married, by the way.
Right. Yeah, I can't judge. Hi, pizza. Anyway, the last movie trailer we have, and then we have a few TV shows, and then we can call it a night. Wonder Woman. Their trailer came out, and Fekkes, what did you think of it? And what did you think of, to reiterate, because people know, what did you think of Wonder Woman in BVS DOJ?
I loved Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman. I thought she was one of the highlights of the film. I love her music for the film. It's badass.
Oh yeah.
And the trailer for the movie looked awful.
Oh really?
No, it looked great. I can't wait.
I was gonna say.
I think the trailer is spot on. And Wonder Woman is one of those other characters too that I'm not that familiar with. But I think it's about time we have a female superhero movie that does some justice to making a good movie. To hell with Catwoman. That was a piece of garbage. But no,
does some justice.
Does some justice to the league. Anyway, moving on. The everything about it looks really good. The action sequences, action sequences look really awesome. Even though there's a little bit of Zack Snyder in there, if you caught it.
Yeah, I definitely caught that. Yeah.
Anything in the trailer that showed the rope was great. I just love the use of the rope, and she's amazing. I think she does a great job portraying Wonder Woman. Me
too, and I'm really looking forward to this movie. And there was such a great comment on Reddit that one of the comments on the trailer was the lasso of truth glowing. It looks amazing or whatever. And then the next comment was, right? Color in a DC movie. I was like, that's great.
My favorite Reddit meme from this trailer was, it has Wonder Woman. Chris Pine's waking up and she's like, "You're a man. Did you just assume my gender?" I was dying.
I was gonna bring that up. Oh, that was so great.
Oh, laugh hard.
Oh, I love it so much. But yeah, I know I just freaking said that you can't compare Marvel with the DC movies, but
at some point you're going to have to, though.
You are,
because they're doing they're both trying the same concept. DC is behind the game, obviously, so
right.
They're now starting to build up theirs,
right.
So you're going to have to compare the two.
Absolutely. So this trailer made me think, like, okay, first of all, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I wasn't too crazy about Captain America: The First Avenger.
It's probably the weakest,
right.
Even though I still find enjoyment in it. It's probably the weakest.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to say I didn't like. I'm not saying it's like the worst movie or anything. Like I enjoyed it, but
Superman,
right? Yeah. I'm just not like flying through a wormhole into other dimensions, into other planets for it.
Stop it! I know what you're doing. Stop it.
Anyway, but I wasn't too crazy about that in context of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Same with Thor, I wasn't too crazy about it. But the thing that I thought about when watching Wonder Woman is like the aesthetic of it looks like a good meld of like the Asgardian Thor stuff and the period piece of Captain America.
I.
Yeah, and all I was thinking was, if they can pull this off and do it well, like I'd be all for it. And it looks like they'll do a pretty good job with it. So
I agree. I think I'm very much looking forward to that. That's March, right? That's a March release.
I want to say that is correct, but I can't say with any confidence.
To another comparison with the Marvel Universe, did you see what Joss Whedon said over on Comic-Con?
Yeah.
I would very much be down for a Black Widow movie.
Absolutely.
I think that would be a great concept.
Oh, yeah. And long overdue, too. They've been talking about it since...
Yeah. Well, there was early talks about doing like a Black Widow, Hawkeye pair-up movie, which I don't know. I'd rather just see a Black Widow movie than that.
Yeah. I would like to see a Black Widow, Hawkeye... Obviously, there's no way that they could do this and afford it. Netflix series.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Cool. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that'd be super expensive.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I would love that. I think that would be amazing.
I agree.
Yeah, and also, what did you think of Brie Larson officially being cast
as
for Captain Marvel?
Yeah. Love it. I think she's a great pick for it. Originally you had Ronda Rousey kind of politicking for the role, which it's like I guess I could get behind. She's definitely got the physique for it. She's got the look, but I don't. At this point, Marvel's become such a powerhouse movie. I don't trust in a new actress at such a big role, because Captain Marvel is a big part of the Marvel universe, so she's going to be a major character. So I'd rather give it a trusted actress. Like, I trust Brie Larson. She's a fantastic actress. I think she's going to do a great job. I agree. I'm really excited for it. And she seems like not only is she a very talented actress, she just seems like a cool person. She does. She just seems like a down-to-earth, cool girl. Totally. Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite episodes of The Nerdist is her episode. It's like, she seems so cool. Must have been. I only just recently, as of like this year, started listening to Nerdist. So.
Really?
Yeah.
You listen to another podcast other than Obsessive Viewer.
If you want, you were the only podcast I listened to for like a year and a half. All right.
Nice.
So now I listen to the Chive podcast and I listen to Nerdist as well as you.
Okay, and not Anthology. That's cool. Anyway, speaking of Anthology, you can check it out. I mean, Fekkes doesn't care about it, but you can check it out at anthologypod.com.
Donating money to the cause.
Right. Which you can do at obsessiveviewer.com with the donate button.
Or patreon.com.
Or patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. We actually just got our first Patreon patron, which was very exciting.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And thanks, Mom. I'm kidding. Totally joking. Longtime listener Matt and Dreco. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize. But yeah, thank you for donating, and we'll pay more tribute to you next week when Tiny's back. So anyway, we're gonna kind of start wrapping things up a little bit, but we're gonna go through some TV trailers that were aired, announced, released. Words at Comic-Con showed, yeah. TV showed. Anyway, that was so.
No, I like it.
No, I didn't even like it.
I like it.
So The Exorcist. Okay. What did you think of? What are your thoughts on The Exorcist as a brand?
Well,
and then your thoughts on the trailer.
The original Exorcist movie kind of holds a place in my heart because it was like the first movie that affected me to a terrifying point.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I want to say I was in 7th or 8th grade when I saw it,
nice.
And it kept me up for like 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
And really, like that sort of horror movie is the only thing that has really ever affected me. It still kind of affects me to this day, even though I don't believe in any of that
really?
stuff. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. I guess it's just the whole not having control of myself.
Yeah.
Type of thing. But so the original Exorcist, you know, I don't even know if I could say I love it because it terrified me so much, but it has a huge impact on me.
Hmm.
So the second and the third one were garbage. I
thought the third one was pretty okay.
That was garbage.
Okay.
They did the kind of the backstory of the father a few years ago, which they made 2 movies out of.
They did,
and both of them were train wrecks.
Yeah, Dominion and The Beginning, I think.
Yeah. They're both terrible.
I think it was some weird thing that like 2 studios owned the rights to it or something, and they eventually
it was a big battle.
Yeah,
the director wanted to have his cut of the movie, and so whatever. They were both terrible. So it doesn't even matter. Mm-hmm. So they have a very checkered past with this franchise. But the trailer kind of looks intriguing. I feel like it's going to be hard to find, I don't know, to be horrified by a TV show, especially a network TV show.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a shot. You know, just out of a sense of, you know, I don't know, nostalgia, I guess, for the original movie. Sure. I'll give it a shot. We'll see.
Nice. You know, it's funny, your experience with the Exorcist movies kind of eerily similar to mine, and I'm sure countless other people.
Right.
But when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, I remember I shared a room with my brother, and like it was like the night before he was going to go on a trip or something. And so I wanted to watch The Exorcist because I think I just bought like the box set DVD, and I was like, okay, well, he's asleep, so I might as well just watch on my laptop. So I just sat at my desk.
Very personal way to watch that movie.
Yeah, totally. So I sat at my computer, had my headphones in, watched it all the way through. Like this is the middle of the night, and like it was the weirdest experience because when it was over, it was just like I had this weird, like my skin was crawling.
Yeah,
and it felt like I felt so uncomfortable with everything, and it put me in such a weird funk. It was really an incredible experience.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
It's creepy. And it's funny, I'll talk to some people that find it laughable.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it was cheesy, it's stupid, and I'm like, man.
I think Mike feels that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it scared the ever-living crap out of me.
Interesting.
And it still affects me to this day.
Nice. The one thing that I can't, and this is kind of something that was reawakened in me when I saw Ghostbusters, is the whole, like, like possessed person thing where they turn their head all the way around.
Yeah, it's played out now.
Yeah, it is, and I'm just thinking like, okay, if you get the demon out of her, she's dead. Because how physically can someone do that and still be alive?
The demon has special healing powers as well. I don't know. Could be.
Okay, yeah. Anyway.
I'm not citing like Catholic dogma or anything.
Right. So anyway, the Exorcist TV show, I saw the trailer. I mean, it looks, I might check it out out of curiosity.
I think it'll probably be very forgettable, but I'll give it a shot.
It seems almost, I don't know how the timing factored into all of this, but it seems almost reactionary to The Omen.
But that didn't do anything, did it? I mean, I didn't watch it, but did that get any?
I have no idea.
Review? I was like,
I know my former manager. Yeah, my former manager watched it and he enjoyed it.
Did he? No.
But I don't know.
I don't know. I find it almost near impossible to do a network horror movie or horror product and it be effective.
Right. Well, they on was NBC, they had Hannibal, and I thought that was done very well.
Was it?
Yeah.
I could be surprised. We'll see.
Yep. And also, this kind of brings me to a point that I didn't put in the notes, but they announced that Rihanna is going to be in Bates Motel.
I saw that. She's going to play the iconic
Marion Crane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be the last season, which it's kind of interesting because Bates Motel kind of has I have a soft spot for Bates Motel because when it first aired, was when I first started, it probably aired in March, so it was about a month after I started ObsessiveViewer.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the first 2 seasons I wrote reviews for each episode as they aired, and then the 3rd season I never watched it, and then
I never got into it.
Yeah,
I love Psycho. It's a great movie, but I just never got into the. I'm talking about the Vince Vaughn one. That was just stellar.
So anyway, but this news bothers me just a little bit because, okay.
What? Because Rihanna's black and she's playing a white person? God damn it, you racist!
God damn it! No, it's because I just hate that song "Work" by her. I hate that with a passion so much.
It didn't work for you?
I kind of hate you a little bit right now. No, I kind of hate that song. But anyway, that's not the real reason. The real reason is that when watching seasons 1 and 2, I was getting really quite into it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I kind of had this idea in my head. I hoped so much. I really, really wanted the final episode or the final scene of the show to be Norman Bates standing outside or walking outside to a car saying 12 cabins, 12 vacancies. Yeah. And then that would be the end of it. I didn't want them to touch
to do the slash.
Yeah. Yeah. I did not want that.
I kind of get it. I get
you. I thought that would have been really, that would have been so great. And granted, I haven't seen it for 2 seasons.
Although I think this has the potential to shine bright like a diamond.
Is that part of the song?
This is one of her songs.
Oh, okay. The only Rihanna.
She's going to need an umbrella to start raining.
God. There are. Has she been an actress in
She
much
was
of
in
anything?
Battleship.
Oh, that's right.
I never saw it, but I know she was in it.
I saw it, and I just don't really remember much about it.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's kind of a bummer.
She was in This Is the End.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
But
that's
she played
true.
Rihanna. So.
Right. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see. I need to go back and rewatch it and get caught up. But yeah, that news is kind of troubling to me. The next one is, this will be brief. Fekkes, you never watched The Expanse, did you?
No, I know, and I know you and Tiny both gave it, and you especially watched it, but no, it's so hard for me to fit new TV shows into.
That's understandable. Yeah. And The Expanse is pretty good. I think I was kind of predisposed to like it a lot more than Tiny did because.
No, did you contribute to it?
What?
Was that a Kickstarter? Was that a Kickstarter?
No.
Okay.
No. The Expanse is based on
a book.
The book series, yeah, called The Expanse. I've read 3 of the 5 that have been released now. It's a really fun, really good space opera. It's a good. The central cast is very Firefly-esque, and it's really good, and it has some political elements to it. You can kind of say it's kind of like a Game of Thrones thing in space, a little bit, with different factions kind of doing different things, but it's not as dark and brooding and intense as Game of Thrones.
Gotcha.
It's more, it's a lot more, I guess, accessible would be the word.
Fun.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, fun. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, the first season of The Expanse was pretty solid, pretty good. They ended the season. I kind of went in expecting them to just adapt the first book, but they did a weird thing where the slight spoilers, I guess. They ended the season about 3/4 into the book storyline. Which I appreciated because it gives time to develop things, and it would have been a rush to get to the end. I like the ending of the first book, but it kind of makes me wonder how they're going to adapt it going forward as well. Enough. So, but anyway, The Expanse season 2 is on its way. It's going to premiere in 2017 on Sci-Fi. And I'm looking forward to it. This is the only show that I've ever bought a season pass for on Google Play.
That's what it was that you did.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I did. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. And it'll be interesting. So these next 4 are all Marvel. We can hit them pretty quickly.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot for it. Much of any of these.
Yeah, so Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4. I haven't finished Season 3. I think I have like 4 episodes to go. How'd you feel about Season 3, and how'd you feel about the direction they're going in Season 4, and what would motivate me to finally finish it?
Season 3, I think, was... And I enjoy this show. I like it a lot. But I felt like Season 3 got a little bit too much into the Inhumans.
Yeah.
And not so much of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mm-hmm. But that's not to say there wasn't some good aspects to it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. But it looks like they're going to bring it back kind of towards the Agents aspect of it for Season 4.
Nice.
The trailer they did was just a tease. There was no footage. Okay. It was just a tease of Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And I'm all about that. I think that's going to be a fun incorporation for Ghost Rider. And, do them not Nicolas Cage style.
Right.
So, no, I'm excited. And for no other reason to start Season 4, just finish Season 3. It's 4 hours.
Okay.
You got 4 hours left.
Okay, nice.
It's a satisfying ending. Like, Season 3 is very satisfying ending.
Good. Nice. So. Okay, I will definitely do that and report back. My headphones are coming out. Okay. So these next 3 are the Marvel Cinematic Universe Netflix series. Iron Fist and Luke Cage, they both had teasers.
Well, Luke Cage was more of an actual trailer, but that releases in September anyway. So.
Right, yeah, September 30th, I believe. What did you think of that trailer?
It looks fantastic.
Right.
I can't wait.
Right.
I love Luke Cage's character in Jessica Jones, and his standalone, I think, is going to be fantastic.
I am right there with you. I'm so pumped for this. I'm really excited for it.
I wish it's not going to happen, but I wish it would. Deadpool is a huge, like, he's not a bad guy, but he has this hilarious relationship with Iron Fist and Luke Cage, who are the heroes for hire in the comic books, and to the point where they despise Deadpool, but Deadpool's Deadpool. He's trying to have fun with everybody,
right? So,
and I wish they could incorporate him. They won't, but it'd be great if they could.
That would be really cool. Dang. How about Iron Fist? They had a very short teaser for it.
It's very short, but at this point, you don't need to show me a lot. You're knocking every single Marvel show out of the park on Netflix. I'll watch it. I think I have no reason to believe it's going to be anything less than great. Yep.
And that kind of brings me back just slightly to the DC thing, because I really wish that they had a universe, multi format universe the way that Marvel does.
Yeah. Marvel, God, they did it perfect. They've not tripped once.
Right.
So.
And it's just amazing to me because they have so many movies. Those are their big tentpoles. Then they have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is,
it's not the greatest.
It's not for everyone.
It's a fun diversion.
Exactly. And then they have the Netflix shows that are just so
phenomenal, so
different in tone, but still connected to the universe.
Right.
It's just, I love it. I love what they're doing. So they released a very short Defenders teaser. How do you feel about the Defenders? Are you looking forward to it? Do you think they're going to do well?
I say the same thing as Iron Fist. You know,
Nice.
Of course, it was just a voiceover with Stick, kind of giving a little pet talk, I guess. But you know, I'm sure it'll be great.
Nice.
No reason to believe it otherwise.
Nice. I don't know if they've announced anything. I don't think they have or anything. But do you think that there's a chance that Spider-Man will show up in these Netflix shows?
Doubtful.
Now that I said it out loud, I kind of agree.
I say very doubtful.
Yeah. What did you? Okay, yeah, I kind of completely forgot about this too. Since we're on Marvel, they showed footage of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Did you see? I haven't found it.
It's not available. It was only for Comic-Con.
I read the description of it, and
I didn't read much about it or anything. I know one thing that I kind of wish I didn't.
I regret
hear about.
reading it.
Yeah.
So, but it sounds fun. So
yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome.
And did you hear about the footage for Spider-Man?
I did not.
It's like from what I've heard. The tone that they're setting is like a John Hughes-esque high school movie, and like that.
I've never been a fan of John Hughes.
Really?
But I think it'll be great.
Yeah. No yeah. It will.
Did you see what they're talking about doing with? Well, Kevin Feige had like made a comment about how he wants to do the sequels with Spider-Man, kind of relating it to the Harry Potter movies.
Really?
Yeah, because he says like the Homecoming's going to be like his sophomore year, so he said the sequel might be his junior year, and then senior. So
that would be so awesome.
Like, I can get behind that.
I would love that. Man, I'm so glad that that's at Marvel Studios or they're whatever the deal is.
Leasing it to them. Yeah.
Oh man, I would love that so much.
Right? I think that's
great. God. Anyway. So Marvel is God. And, so we can knock these out really quickly. Star Trek Discovery, I am kind of going through a big Star Trek kick now. Before Fekkes came here, I was watching the animated series because I'm insane, and I've watched the entire original series, so now I want to watch the entire animated series. I had the intention of writing reviews for each season of these shows and each movie on the site, but I just,
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and now I have a real job, so it's like
maybe
I can't.
If more people gave to patreon.com.
Right, or donated on obsessiveviewer.com. No, so I'm just going through it just at my leisure, and I'll document it on the podcast and everything, but oh man, I love this property, and I've seen such a small amount of it.
Because there is a large amount
There
of it.
is a ton. I've never seen any of the other shows other than the original series. That's including The Next Generation. I've never seen any of the movies aside from J.J. Abrams's, I guess they're calling it the Kelvin timeline.
Like I saw Generations and Up. Like,
okay.
So I've seen
Never
those.
Saw them. Yep.
Generations is good.
Yeah, I have them all on Blu-ray though, so that's all my plan.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah, I remember. I've already said it on the podcast. I'm not going to say it again. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm really excited. So now that I'm going through the animated series, I'm doing that so that I can see the movies because my brain works weird.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I can be the same way.
Yep. So anyway, Star Trek Discovery is a CBS All Access exclusive, or I think it's going to premiere on CBS All Access. The pilot episode is going to premiere on CBS. Then the rest is going to be on CBS All Access, which is their paid on streaming service. And then I think Netflix has the streaming rights to it. So
weird,
like international, very weird
way of doing the release of that.
However, I don't know if that means that they have the international streaming rights. So in the US, it will only be on CBS All Access, and then worldwide it will be on Netflix and not on Netflix in the US. I don't know how it's going to work. I haven't read up on it, but having seen the three movies that have come out recently for Star Trek and having seen the original series, I'm so eager to see Star Trek handled on the small screen again, because what I love about the original series, and I do love the original series so much, is that it's such a great science fiction stories that relate to our modern era, and it says a lot about humanity, and it has this optimistic view of humanity and our sense of exploration. And I want to see that explored more, and you can't really do that with the movie franchise. And that's something that the movie franchise, as of late, hasn't done much of. And so I'm really excited to hopefully it going back to its roots. Now, this footage that was shown, that was just the, it was the,
quote unquote.
It was just the introduction of the ship that's going to be in the show. It's called the Discovery, and the show is called Star Trek Discovery. So me and Fekkes watched this before we recorded, and this was the first time seeing it on a screen, like that wasn't my phone. And Fekkes, what'd you think of it?
It looked rough. I believe I said it looked like a high-end porn production CGI.
That's pretty harsh, but and it did look a little. It did. I would say it looked like it could have been CGI animated if it wasn't so. Like that's the level of CGI in it, is that it looked like it could have been a CGI animated thing, a little bit, I guess. I don't know if I'm communicating that well enough, but it's kind of like it didn't look like the special effects of the ship did not look like they belonged in a live action production.
They did not.
Right.
Did not.
So that gives me just a little bit of pause, but I know that Brian Fuller is behind it, and honestly, I don't care. Like, I mean, the original series, I've watched what's on Netflix, which is the remastered one. So they have like computer graphics for the shots of the ship in orbit around planets. But so I don't mind. It could look like garbage. I don't care, as long as it kind of carries on that spirit of Star Trek. And Brian Fuller's behind it, and I really dig his work. I really liked Hannibal. And the one thing that does give me pause over it, like I said, it could look like complete garbage and I won't mind, but what gives me pause is that it's going to be serialized. It's going to tell an overarching story.
I don't know why that would give you pause.
It would give me pause because I really love the original series, and that was more of a episode to episode, like anthology thing. Yeah, and I want that. I want to check in with some characters that I will grow to love, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I want to see them go on adventures each week. I don't necessarily want to see them spend 10, 12 episodes going up against something where I have to, like, go in each week and see these plots progress further until the end of I don't want to see a novel. I want to see cool,
short
cool
stories.
Yeah.
Short stories.
Yeah. I want So, I don't know. I could just be eating my words when it premieres, because it could be amazing or it could be garbage. I don't know. So,
You shall see.
Yep. So finally, or next to finally, The Walking Dead Season 7, they had a kind of teaser thing with just no new footage or anything.
There's a little bit of new footage.
Was there?
Yeah.
Oh, huh. I didn't notice. What are your thoughts on The Walking Dead Season 7?
Well, they got Ezekiel, which...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm happy to see Ezekiel, and I'm even happier to see that they gave him his tiger.
Did they? See, maybe I didn't see the whole...
Did you not see it? Yeah.
I guess I didn't.
There was quite a bit of new footage.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like an idiot now.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dwight.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of new footage.
Is the tiger, like, a real tiger?
No.
I didn't think so.
It's weird looking. It's kind of rough.
Okay.
But, it's whatever. It is what it is. They gave Ezekiel his tiger. I'm happy about it.
Okay.
There's a lot of good Negan lines. So
nice.
I have this weird relationship with The Walking Dead. I've read the comic books. I continue to read the comic books. The show has drug for so long for me at certain points, and I feel like I get one good episodes to 3 mediocre ones.
Yeah.
But with Negan coming in, he's one of my favorite characters from the books, and I think that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's going to nail it. So I'm actually, for the first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to the next season of Walking Dead.
Nice. I think that Negan is going to just hit a home run.
He's gonna knock it out of the park.
Knock it out of the park. No, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I'm kind of the same way, although I'm a little more harsh on it. It's The Walking Dead. I've said before, I'll keep watching it because I love the zombie aspects of it, and I like the makeup effects and everything, and the way they handle zombies in it. But
there's a lot of bad episodes, man.
There are.
There's a lot of them.
And it's such a drag. It's such
I feel like
a slog.
Season 6 to me, though, had the best ratio of good episodes to bad episodes, in my opinion.
It had some high points. I'll meet you there for that. But I mean, there were some just really awful things in it. And I'm at a point where I'm so disconnected with The Walking Dead. Like, they just announced that Lenny James just got cast in Blade Runner 2, I think. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Oh.
But then again, I haven't really been following the Blade Runner 2 production all that closely.
Me neither. But they announced it, and then I was like, is his character dead yet? No. Is he dead, or is he still in the show? Like, I couldn't, because I'm so uninvested in The Walking Dead.
I know Dr. Dre's still alive, so.
Nice. Real quick, who do you think Negan?
I think they're going with comic books. I think it's Glenn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think either him or Band of Brothers guy. Abraham?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to think for a minute. I was like, Band of Brothers.
Right.
Okay. I got it.
That's what I'm going with. Either way, I don't really care all that much.
I wish it were Carl.
Right.
Kill that kid.
Oh, jeez.
They've tried. They've tried. Shot his eye out.
Yeah, that would be so awesome if it is him and they. Oh,
he's even more insufferable in the comic books.
Oh yeah. I've read up until after where they are now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it would be so cool if it is Carl and this would never happen. But it would just be kind of ballsy and amazing if they did it and the last shot of Carl is his other eye just out of his socket.
Oh, dude, that
would be so cool.
I would cheer. I would cheer. Knock that fucking hand off his head.
Oh, so to kind of wrap things up, I haven't seen this yet, but I'm kind of excited to watch it because I love Walton Goggins, but I'm not excited to watch it because I don't really care about Danny McBride, and I never got into
Danny
Eastbound and Down.
Love Danny McBride.
But it's Vice Principals on HBO. You've seen the first episode?
I've seen the first episode.
How is it?
I was a fan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
But again, it's Danny McBride.
See,
he's Danny McBride.
And that's my problem.
Yeah, you're probably not going to love it.
Yeah, because I think he works really well as a supporting actor in things.
Well, he's not. He's pretty much main character.
Okay.
I mean, it's Danny McBride. I think.
Is he doing his Danny McBride thing?
Yeah.
See, that gives me pause.
It's hilarious.
How's Walton Goggins in it?
He's great. He's fantastic.
Nice.
They're going to play off each other great. I think those two together are going to be great.
Okay. I'll probably give it a shot, but
it's a half an hour.
I don't know.
Shot.
Did you ever watch Eastbound and Down?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Because that started before I got HBO. So
okay.
I'll probably want to go back and watch it just because I love Danny McBride. But
right. Yeah, I watched the first season. I was like, yeah. I just got tired of his whole thing.
Danny McBride is Danny McBride in Vice Principals.
Ugh. Well, maybe with that warning, I'll get into it.
Bill Murray has a good cameo in the first episode.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So, we've been talking for a long time. This turned out to be such a longer episode than I thought it would be.
Right? Trailers?
Yeah. Holy crap. So, anyway, we're not going to do...
Matt. Let's wrap this up.
Right? I have sleep to do because I work in the morning and talk to people. This old lady yelled at me today because I wasn't speaking loudly enough. And it was like...
Ma'am, I'm a podcaster.
It was weird because... And I felt kind of bad because she was clearly an older lady. And she called... And she was like, "I'm sorry, I'm deaf. I can't hear. You need to speak up. You need to speak up." So I'm in an office. I can't scream. And so I'm speaking as loud as I can without looking like an idiot in front of my coworkers or disrupting their calls or anything. And she keeps saying you need to speak up. She was getting very aggressive toward me, saying I told you I can't hear you. You need to speak up. Now you're being rude. And I'm like, what the? I'm sorry, I'm not. Your policy is active. Go f*** yourself.
These calls are recorded for training purposes.
Right. Every one of my calls are recorded, so I did not say that. But yeah, so that was just anyway. So that was fun. Anyway, that was not something I was planning on bringing up on this podcast. Anyway, whatever. So anyway, she's not a listener. Screw it.
She'll be dead soon anyway.
So that'll wrap us up for this episode of The Obsessive Viewer. This bonus episode. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. I think next week is episode 180, which I have kind of a goofy idea for it, and I'm hoping that Tiny goes for it.
Do a complete 180. Is that part of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's if we do it, it'll be changed opinions. So movies or shows that
I like that.
Right?
That's great.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Oh yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I've had episodes in the past where it was the topic was dictated by the number and it always fell through. So I think I did you were on for episode 101 where we did college movies, so that worked out.
Was 69 your porn review?
No, it wasn't.
Missed opportunities.
Yeah, 88 was going to be time travel movies because Back to the Future, 88 miles an hour.
Okay, I like it. You can do 187, your favorite murder mysteries.
I like that. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Like detective thrillers or something.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a great idea.
You're welcome.
Nice. Copyright obsessiveviewer.com.
See, I don't donate money. I donate ideas.
That's, I mean, that doesn't pay the bills. Anyway, anything else or can we wrap this up?
Tarzan was forgettable.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have a Twitter handle that you want to plug on here?
It's either R Fekkes or RA Fekkes at Twitter.
Okay.
It's I don't tweet things.
Right. Okay. So so that about does it. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Boundaries, Dwight. Come on.
I'm sorry, Mr. Butler. As I was saying, we're having a limited...
Speak up a little bit louder. I'm hard of hearing.
He's hard if he's an old man. Okay. As I was saying, right now we are having...
Talk louder.
Okay. Our prices have never been lower.
Son, you have to talk louder.
Never been lower.
Louder, son!
Butler! Our prices have never been lower!
Stop it. That is totally inappropriate.
Thank you for listening to The Obsessive Viewer, presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. You can find more of our episodes at ovpodcast.com, and you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, or your preferred podcast app. The Obsessive Viewer's theme song is An Eclipse of Events and is provided by Loudlike from their EP Mistakes We Must Make. You can find that and more great music from them on iTunes and like their Facebook page at facebook.com/loudlikemusic. Any and all feedback on the podcast is encouraged. You can email the hosts individually at Matt, Tiny, or Mike at obsessiveviewer.com or send an email to the podcast in general at podcast@obsessiveviewer.com. Check out the Obsessive Viewer blog at obsessiveviewer.com, where we post movie and TV reviews and the occasional editorial about the business of entertainment. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/theobsessiveviewer and follow us on Twitter at obsessiveviewer, at obsessivetiny, and at IamMikeWhite. If you want more obsessive content in your life, check out our sister site, obsessivebooknerd.com, for book reviews, author spotlights, and a general celebration of reading. Finally, if you're philosophically curious, check out Tiny's side project podcast, The Secular Perspective, which explores the concepts of faith, religion, and existence from the perspective of secular hosts. You can find that at thesecularperspective.com and subscribe to the podcast on the podcatcher of your choice. Again, thank you so much for listening. We love you. Be excellent to each other.